I'm going to ask you to count us down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1
Right.
once the battery's in. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm not very numerical though, so I'll do my best.
Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
You went to RADA. Do you think you would have become an actress if you hadn't got into drama school?
I think I might have, yes, in the end, but through a more indirect route.
Did you have doubts along the way in the early stages?
Yeah, I had no confidence at all at RADA to start with. It took me a couple of terms to sort of find my feet. And I nearly left on a couple of dramatic occasions.
Give me quick examples.
Well, you know, I was very young and you're using who you are. You're trying to sort of play other people when you don't know who you are yet at that age. So that got me into some trouble. But I found my feet at the end of the second term, probably.
Does your success as an actress mean that there isn't insecurity in the career?
No, ask my family. They'd be hooting with laughter if they could hear you say that. No, lots of insecurity.
Do you still have to do auditions?
I did one recently for Woody Allen on Skype, yeah.
Did you get the part?
No, I didn't, no.
What's the key to a good audition?
Not doing it on Skype.
You worked for the Royal Shakespeare Company.
Yeah.
How many of Shakespeare's plays do you think you've performed in your career?
Oh, gosh, I've never counted, probably about 12, 14, maybe.
Is there a favourite part that you have played of his?
Yes, I think so. 2, actually. Isabella in Measure for Measure and Rosalind in As You Like It.
Do you think for actresses as they get older that it becomes trickier? Are there fewer parts than there are for men?
Yeah, way fewer. And it gets much more difficult. As you go on through life, it gets more and more interesting and complicated, and the parts very often get more and more simple and less complicated, and that's a battle we still have to fight, I think.
How do you learn your lines? How do you go about it? Do you find it easy or difficult?
I find it fairly easy, but I think it's all about thought. If you can follow a thought pattern, then you'll remember the lines. If you don't know what character's thinking and you can't track it, you won't be able to remember it. So,
do you think there's been a career-defining role? Truly, madly, deeply?
Yeah, I suppose
and prompting
so.
the witness.
Yeah, I suppose it would have to be that one in film. And I don't know, in theatre, perhaps that Isabella, Measure for Measure early on, and then a couple of other things later.
Do the parts that you play in film, on stage, do some of them stay with you for months or years later?
Yeah, some do and some don't, and it's self-selecting. It's very odd. You can't always tell who's going to stay around as a character and who's going to disappear very quickly. But they do, and I can remember whole chunks of some parts I played like 20 years ago.
Have you ever wanted to have the life of someone you've played?
Very rarely. I think the thing about fiction is it takes you into places where you wouldn't really want to go or daren't to go, and are quite relieved to get out of at the end. I've just played Mother Teresa, actually, in India, believe it or not, and I'm quite glad to be back in my own
What was the context
shoes.
for that? The context?
It's a cinema film. It's a feature film about her. Yeah.
If I pushed you, do you prefer film or theatre?
I don't want to choose between them. So, but if I had to, it would probably be theatre from the point of view of acting and craft, but film from the point of view of life and family life.
When you play a really emotional role part, what do you draw on to get that emotion? Is it mostly life experience? How much does technique play a part?
It's largely life experience. I think it's memory, emotional memory, but that's linked to, but those memories are also linked to quite physical things like breathing. I mean, when we get very upset, we have breathing patterns, so that's a sort of technical thing that you can, get going in yourself a certain way, a breathing pattern that will generate real feeling. But you're normally drawing on a bank of memory.
Is there a hardest emotion to play?
Well, I still think that real grief is the hardest thing to play, because it's an elusive, she's an elusive creature, you never know whether you're going to find it, whether you're going to be able to kind of really weep or not. It's sort of...
you can't cry on demand?
No, it's not a tap you can turn on.
Would you say that you come alive when you're on stage? When you're on stage, does it feel like that's the place you should be?
Yeah, it does. Sometimes I feel horrible, but very often I do think this is what I was sort of meant to do, whether I like it or not, yeah.
When you come off stage, are you buzzing?
Very often, yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
find it difficult to come down from it?
Yeah.
Quickly tell me about life outside of work. What do you get up to?
My family, number one. My children, my partner absorb most of my time outside of work. But there are things I love to do.
Quick. Play the piano, do you?
Yes, I play the piano and
And quick and
and eat.
really nice to meet you.
Thanks, Matthew. It's a pleasure.